whether Batman or Bruce Wayne exists or not is going to directly influence her origin, because her meeting Batman is part of her origin. So
All right.
Yeah.
Another one.
Flash
news, Batwoman, like, it's coming.
Yeah, it's happening.
So, how do they do it? Like,
how do they do it? Okay.
Like, I mean, what Earth? We talked about it in the end of one of our other videos. But...
Yeah, so we kind of briefly talked about Batwoman in our crossover video. Definitely interesting. I mean, because that's the thing, is Batwoman's being introduced on the crossover, but her show is confirmed. She has a show lined up.
Okay.
Which I don't think you knew immediately was confirmed. You were just like, oh, she's showing up for the crossover. And I'm like, yeah, and her show. And you're like, oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
They casted Ruby Rose for that, too.
Yeah, we didn't...
John Wick.
We didn't really even talk about that in the crossover video, which is good because we saved it for this. Is Ruby Rose is cast as Batwoman. Kate Kane, Batwoman. It's going to be really cool. I think it's a perfect casting. I can't think of a better one.
So, I mean, I've seen her like 2 or 3 times. The 2 times that she really stood out was John Wick 2, when she played the mute girl. And it was super dope. And then the shameful one, I have to admit, Triple X.
Oh, yeah, the new Triple X. God damn it.
I saw it. I'm sorry. She was a badass, though. I love her. But let's talk about the whole casting, I guess. Like, we didn't even plan on this, but real quick. Do you think they're going to do comic accurate?
I think it's going to be... I hope it's going to be comic accurate. Like, in terms of costume and character portrayal.
Because she has shorter hair.
Okay, so you're talking about in terms of looks. Because I think in terms of portrayal, she'll be comic accurate. But I think in terms of look, I hope they're doing a slightly more... yeah, it's in pre-production. I think it's going to be interesting. Oh, so here's an interesting thing. She's showing up on every show for the crossover, which is good.
Yeah.
Every episode. I just like seeing the IMDb page with her on it, showing up as Batwoman in Supergirl, the other shows, but she's only set to appear as Batwoman in Supergirl. It doesn't say the other shows, which I find interesting.
Well, and then we can talk about, like, so what Earth Batwoman's actually...
Just to answer the first question, I think they'll make her look more comic accurate in terms of costume and look. So yes.
I hope so too. Like,
but
bad ears, flowing hair, like, just don't do her wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't make her a woman Batman. Make her Batwoman. Batwoman is such an iconic character that you
want to do it right.
And even, like,
that'd be like messing up Batman.
Her whole origin's about just being her own person. So don't go making her Batman. That's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, because she definitely shares wide differences from Batman. So don't make it a copy.
Yeah.
But what
It'd
Earth?
Be cheap.
I think Earth 38.
38. I think we're both on board with that.
I've kind of swayed you that way a little about Earth 38, but I think it'd be perfect. It just fits well in the Supergirl world. Like, I think it just fits really well. I think in terms of them talking all the time about Gotham City and Supergirl, all this stuff, like, that's where she's going to be, Gotham City. I think it just fits the best.
I honestly, at this point, they've talked about Gotham so many times. They did most of the crossovers on Earth 1 or random Earth.
That Earth 10.
But they always came back to Earth 1, and that was the main...
It's like the home ground.
That was, now we make Earth 38 the home ground.
I think maybe for the crossover, I think it'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
But, and that'd be a perfect way to do it, is introduce a new character from that Earth. Because that Earth is missing a lot of good characters. All the good, fun characters, other than Supergirl and Superman, are from Earth 1.
And then I also think it'd be super dope for Oliver to finally meet Superman.
Yeah.
But
that's crossover.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Batwoman.
But still.
I think him meeting Batwoman would be cool, because they'd both be, moody and, and they're like, we get along. Batwoman
goes with the crossovers, though.
Yeah,
so,
but we talked about
if we're
going
to go on 38, then...
It just fits.
It would be super dope, and it'd be a good experience for everybody if they really made it on 38. but the out of left field thing, or
James has this kind of wild out of left field theory that I don't think is totally implausible. I just think it is going to directly affect a lot of the story. So go ahead.
So at first, I was totally convinced. Like, I was just like,
on this theory based off of no facts.
Batwoman is from Earth 50 or whatever.
Some random Earth.
And she kind of like puts out a distress beacon, and it's like asking for help, and it comes to Supergirl, and then Supergirl asks for everybody else's help, and then they all go to that Earth.
Right.
And then that gets us into the origins of Batwoman.
Yep.
If that's how they did it, then they wouldn't need a Bruce Wayne. She could just be that character. Like,
I think it's funny. At first you were like, don't make her Batman, but you're also like, make her Batman.
It kind of. It's like
I see what you're saying now.
Like, don't make her. You take away the inspiration and give her own new origin story. Instead of just making her parents died. You know what I mean? Like, keep the military background and
all that. I see where that comes from.
Keep the character intact, but you can change the origin a little bit if you made her from a random Earth.
Unrelated to Batman.
But I don't believe that's... I
was never gonna be convinced on that. Not that I thought it was bad. I kind of convinced you with the idea that Greg Berlanti isn't going to change up a character that much.
That's who's taking care of this.
Especially with the popularity of Batman. You don't want to, like... It's almost... I don't want to say it's disrespectful of the character. I just think it changes too much of the character's origins to, like... Let's just get into the Batman Bruce Wayne discussion. I think...
Yeah, I mean, that's where this was leading.
Yeah, I think that they're going to reference Batman. They're going to reference Bruce Wayne. Maybe not directly or indirectly. Or probably not directly, but indirectly. I just think that he's going to be not only a big part of... I don't know how to say it. I think he's going to be a part of the origin, because he is a part of the origin of Batwoman. I think he's going to play a role. I just don't think we're going to directly see him.
Yeah, well, you had a really cool theory about that. I agree. Like, they're going to stick to it, but you had a really cool theory that Batman's not going to be there. Like, there's something that happened.
So, let's read this is how we're going to get into this. Let's read the description for the show. I'm going to read it out loud. Let me find it. It's interesting because...
Sorry.
No, this is really good. I wanted to do this. I just find it really interesting how they introduce the idea of the show, like... How they introduce the idea of Batwoman, because here's the description. Damn it. Okay. Armed with a passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind, Kate Kane soars onto the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, an out-lesbian and highly trained street fighter primed to snuff out the failing city's criminal resurgence. But don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope. There's a couple key things in that, and then they introduce the Batwoman, the Bat signal, but a Batwoman signal in the crossover. So it doesn't completely, it could kind of lead to think that your left field theory could be true. But I think mine has this interesting idea that, so it sounds a lot like Bruce Wayne or Batman doesn't necessarily exist, but I have a theory that if that's the route they go and he's not involved at all in Gotham, it's because he's missing or gone. Like, Batman's gone, he could have died from something, it could have been a crisis event. Something wild happens, she has to come step up.
Like, Batman's he's gone, somebody has to protect the city.
He's dead, he's gone, whatever it is. It'd be interesting. Because I know... Yeah, because in Supergirl they always talk about Clark's vigilante friend, which I think is fun.
But could it have always been Batwoman?
It could have. I'm going to say... Oh, no, because I think at one point they said the other guy.
Oh, well, there you go.
Something like that. I don't know. I know they reference him sometimes, and I think this is going to be a big show that's going to reference him. But I think that there's going to be... I think Batman's going to exist. And Bruce Wayne will exist. I just don't think that he's going to be super directly involved with the show, because it sounds like we might be getting him on Titans.
Exactly. The live action, and you can't have that many
Yeah, especially with it coming up on Gotham.
Bruce's.
Yeah, with it coming up on Gotham and with it coming up on... There's just so much.
But by that theory, that gave me my own theory of the next crossover when they might like get rid of Arrow finally. Like they might just end it. Like we had a great run.
Yeah, because there's talk of Arrow ending.
Like, and I always respect a show that ends it on its own terms, not when the fans decide like it's too much. Like I always just I commemorate a show for having that.
Yeah.
No more money. Let's do this right. There's not too many of those shows out there.
Yeah, I mean,
but in the next crossover, what if they have to save Batman?
That'd be interesting.
Like, that's probably my fucking in the cornfields theory there.
Okay.
But I guess what we should probably end this whole thing with, after the theories of the origins, the villains.
No, we have to talk about the origin, because here's the deal: is
okay, the origins.
Whether or not, because Batman existing or not existing is going to directly affect the origin. I don't think they're going to do an origin story in Batwoman, or they'll vaguely reference it with small flashbacks, but I don't think they're doing a straight up origin, because one, she's going to be pre-existing in the crossover, unless the crossover is her origin, but I'm going to say doubtful. And whether Batman or Bruce Wayne exists or not is going to directly influence her origin, because her meeting Batman is part of her origin. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they do it. I don't know exactly how, but I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be really fun, but I want them to do it right. I don't want them to necessarily do a full origin. I just want a pre-existing character, kind of like what they're doing with Black Lightning.
I can see that. Like,
not like a retirement story, but like something similar.
That's kind of how they did with Green Arrow.
He wasn't pre-existing though. We still got an origin, but we got it with flashbacks.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I want like smaller flashbacks than Arrow for sure, but I just want it to reference Batman, Bruce Wayne, but I also want it that way her origin can make sense.
So what I think they're probably going to do, since we're talking about the origins, is they're just going to, in the crossover, she exists.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
I don't think, no. It'll be set character.
And then when they go to her show, it's going to be prequel style.
You don't think it's going to be in real time, like in terms of the other shows?
I think they might. It's going to be like in real time and then like show flashbacks of her learning.
Okay, see, that's okay.
Like instead of like the island on Arrow, it's going to be
like her training.
Or like the things that she went through to make her want to be Batwoman.
Okay, interesting.
Like what drove her to this point.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the island. It could just be bullied and...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Getting kicked out of the military, all that stuff, the full origin. But a big part of that is her first interaction with Batman.
And that's where it comes down to. Does she...
I think it'd be cool. This would be a dream come true for me if she's getting mugged, she's ready to beat someone up.
And Batman just like...
swoops in.
And then is she pissed off because she could have beat their asses?
I forget how they do it. I forget if she beats their ass and then Batman shows up in the comics and she's just like, you're too late. Or if he does it and she's like, I could have done that on my own. I forget what it is.
They'll probably do that.
I don't remember which one it was. I don't know which one they'll do. But I think they should just see him swoop down. That'd be cool. I'd be happy with that.
And they were all just like laying on the ground.
Just small confirmation.
And then she's just pissed and wants to do it herself.
Yeah.
Because that everybody, if they know they can take care of themselves, they want to take care of themselves.
Yeah, they don't want someone else to do it. It's
like, I didn't need your help. Fuck you. I don't care if I'm in a wheelchair, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I could have done that.
Sure.
And then it pisses you off.
Okay.
But I guess
let's move on to what. This is a big question for me.
Yeah.
Villains. What are they going to do, whether it's big bad, multiple, like just a couple episode villains? I want to know what they're going to do because it's a CW show. It's going to follow the same pattern as all the others. I want to know. It's Berlanti. I want to know how they're going to do the villains. What villains are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Are they going to make some? Are they going to borrow some? Because Batwoman villains are basically just Batman villains, and Arrow's taken a lot of them. Arrow's taken all the ones I wanted. I wanted Anarchy. That would be a fun one, but they took that. Which technically they can still do Anarchy because it's different Earths, probably.
Maybe.
I just don't think they'll reuse villains. Good job. That does it one more time. I'm fighting you.
It's going to. Let's hurry this up.
But we both kind of have a theory. Go yours first. I think yours is fun.
Okay. I think it's Black Mask. I think they want to gear up for Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And they want to introduce the character.
Yeah.
And kind of gear up the audience. That's what they did with Harley.
So let's make this clear. So the Birds of Prey movie has supposedly Black Mask is the villain. Yeah. And you're thinking it'll rise the popularity of the character, kind of prep people in the meantime for that character to come on the big screen.
Just like they did with Harley in season 3 or 4 of Green Arrow.
I mean Suicide Squad. No, Harley showed up, but wasn't like prepping.
I thought it was. Mm-mm. It was perfect timing. It was the year before Suicide Squad.
But Suicide Squad had an Arrow moment, and so that would make sense. Like Suicide Squad being a thing, the popularity of those characters like Deadshot rose on Arrow, and it happened on the movies. Yeah. That makes sense. I wouldn't say Harley, but yes.
All those. But I've seen a pattern.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it would be a really good, big bad.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then I think
you prefer my theory.
I actually kind of do at this point. Let's hear it.
I have a theory, and I see James as being more likely, but I would like it if it was Bane. Yeah. I think Bane would be a fun one, because they haven't really done it on the shows. They haven't really done it in the movies since The Dark Knight Rises, and they didn't even do it right then.
Comic accurate Bane.
I want a comic accurate Bane, which...
Crime boss,
and then it'd be cool if by the end, when she beats him, he turns into the Venom seeking, kind of, not dummy, but he's just more he doesn't speak. He just has... I'm beating your ass later. Yeah, turn your phone on silence. Mine's on silence. But it'd be cool if Bane, like the Arkham Origins game, where we have Bane, and then he kind of becomes the mindless fool by the end, which I think would be fun.
Yeah, I think his only option is to actually use the Venom that he's
at the end,
pushing to everybody.
Yeah,
and that's the only way he can survive. But let's end this. This went a little long.
A little bit.
But let us know who you think the villain's going to be, or the big bad, or what villain you'd most likely see.
Or just one you'd like to see pop up.
Yeah. And follow us on Twitter at NerdPoint Show.
Me at R2 Dillon.
Me at Mayhem_Ren. And we will catch you next time. And yeah.